So today, I want to talk to you guys about what makes Earth Ponies different than the other races of ponies. More specifically, what makes them better farmers. During Hearthswarming Eve, each race has its own role to play in the continuation of their civilization. All three have their roles clearly laid out, but only the unicorns and the Pegasi have what makes their roles possible clearly explained, as they are only possible because of their fundamental character traits. Unicorns use their collective magic to move the celestial bodies, and Pegasi use their wings and ability to touch clouds to control the weather. But what is unclear is what allows Earth Ponies to farm better than the other races. It is said in the show that the Earth Ponies know how to best attend to the crops, and that they know when they are ready to be harvested. But it is never clearly explained what makes them better at doing this and why no other race could do it as well. In fact, there is evidence contrary to them being the best for the job. For example, in Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000, Twilight and the rest of the main six were making apple cider, and there is a scene where Twilight uses her magic to harvest an entire field of apples at once. If unicorns can do this, then why is it that Earth Ponies run the farms? The simplest thing to say would be, because only Earth Ponies know when to water the crops and when to harvest them. But if it's a simple matter of knowledge, what's to stop it from being taught to the unicorns, or even the unicorns learning to do it on their own? The evidence points not to a mental knowledge of plants, but to a psychic one. It would make a whole lot more sense if the Earth Ponies physically feel when the plants need to be watered and picked. This psychic connection to plants would explain the necessity of Earth Ponies to the other races. This might seem to be a baseless claim, but I do have the evidence to support it, such as Granny Smith and her discovery of the Zap Apples. From what we got to see from the episode Family Appreciation Day, the harvest of Zap Apples is a long and complicated process, with the slightest error causing the harvest to fail. Granny Smith said herself that the Apple family was near starvation when she found the Zap Apple seeds, and that the thing that saved them was the first Zap Apple harvest. They obviously didn't have time for trial and error, and it's absurd to say they just guessed correctly the first time. If she had this supposed psychic connection, however, it's more reasonable that they would have been able to harvest the Zap Apples. The one thing that originally got me on the topic of this video, and almost deserves an entire video on its own, is Pinkie Pie's Pinkie Sense. Pinkie Pie would be an even greater extension of this ability. She might even be the equivalent of Twilight to the Earth Ponies. Pinkie Pie herself puts it to Twilight in Feeling Pinkie Keen, "You do magic, what's the difference?" Much like Twilight being good at all magic as opposed to a specific kind, Pinkie would be able to sense much more than just plants. Her ability might even go as far as to being what allows her to break the third wall so frequently. Now how does zebras fit into all this? They're basically striped Earth Ponies, and from what we know of Zecora, they seem to be good at harvesting and mixing together all sorts of herbs for a desired effect. Unlike the Earth Ponies' job, this art can be taught, supported by the fact that we've seen multiple books on the subject, some of which were in the Ponyville library, so it's not impossible for them to have just worked out these combinations. However, Zecora is in a foreign land, and many of the plants she had access to back in her home would probably not be around. The picking of these herbs still comes into question, as Zecora certainly doesn't have Apple Bloom following her around all day helping her. So let's say everything I said here is true. Why is it this information was never presented to us? Equestria probably doesn't have a clue that this is what makes the Earth Ponies good farmers. In the episode Feeling Pinkie Keen, Twilight is shown to be at a complete loss as to what is going on with Pinkie Sense, and Pinkie herself has no clue where it comes from. It'd be fairly easy to pinpoint where Pinkie Sense originates, knowing about the Earth Ponies' connection with plants. Them not knowing about the Earth Ponies' psychic connection to the plants would explain the lack of information given to us about Earth Ponies. So guys, that's all for this video. Make sure to leave a comment telling me what you think about this theory in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of my content. You guys might have also noticed some amazing background music playing during the video. This was actually custom made for me by a good friend of mine, Wispex, who's an amazing musician and makes some great remixes and songs over on his channel. You can find the link below in the description, and I highly recommend you check him out.